Do you ever think that life moves too fast? Or that we spend too much of our time in an attempt to match its pace? I know that some of us even try to outrun it. I believe they call this productivity. A world which treats time like boxes on a conveyor belt. Each day, month or year is something that must be filled before it passes by. Too many commitments to fit into one day. And we feel too busy. Not enough events next week. And we're bored. Then congratulate ourselves when we get it right. Just enough to justify our own existence. Is it really wise to treat time as something abstract from life? Putting anxious pressure on yourself to get everything done in a race towards some hypothetical completion? Who knows? Maybe the answer lies within embracing our finitude. The acceptance that we definitely won't do everything we ever wanted. I guess I think just surviving sounds like a good place to start.
Mama told me when I was young, sat beside me, my only son. Listen closely to what I say. And if you do this, it'll help you some sunny day.
I know that place on the map, Boca do Risco. Pretty sure that is where I need to start heading back inland if I can get this map out of my pocket. No, it's further past it. It really is hard to be ungrateful when you're walking through nature. I won't lie though, yesterday had me properly broken. I reckon I threw the towel multiple times and somehow just got it back before it hit the ground. But I'm still feeling somewhat bummed. Oh, Jesus. Nature telling me, stop being ungrateful. Anyway, I'll go into more detail about day 0 when the time is right. Come on. Which just makes things extremely hard. there's pretty much like no alternative routes that you can do in a day. I mean, it's not really a day left anyway. So I'm gonna have to head back, maybe like 4K. I'll try to climb this summit as a little side quest. And get a taxi, hopefully. Day 1 recap. We're here with the sun up, which is surprising. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to camp on top of this peak tomorrow night. I don't know if it's sheltered. The winds have been ridiculous. The taxi driver said yesterday, the day before, the worst it's been. And like my tent last night, I woke up when I finally got some sleep and it had collapsed on me. I thought it was broken. Luckily, like 10 minutes after that, the wind stopped. I think it was going for like 3 hours straight. The tent was just and I managed to get outside, fix it. I think maybe after the hike to the peak tomorrow, if I can stay there, I might just hike all the way down to the coast and get a taxi across, or get a taxi from near the peak down to the coast and then walk the second leg, because there's just no way with all these trail closures that it's even going to be possible to do it in a day. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to survive on this little trip. The forecast for the next few days is raining, no sunshine, and it's going to be like 15 degrees. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to be able to air anything out properly. Everything's damp, and I'll just get sick. So I need to make a decision. Today I'm meant to be heading towards the peak. It'll probably be closer to like 3, maybe 0 degrees on top of that peak, and if it's windy, there's no chance I'll survive up there. It's kind of why I came here, but I don't think the weather's going to be able to permit what I wanted to see anyway, so maybe I might just have to call it and take a couple days or a day and see what happens. The weather changes pretty quickly here, so who knows. I'll be making this message and it's sunny for the next few days. But for now, I think I'm just going to take today slow, and maybe we'll still make our way up the peak, but we won't stay there. What is it about nature that's so appealing? Something about being in the stillness that like really clears your mind. To be honest, this trip hasn't really been that so far, the stillness. I haven't had a lot of time to think. It's been very chaotic. But kind of giving myself the excuse to just slow down and not worry about where I'm going to be tonight. It's allowed me to kind of find that stillness. This place is genuinely wild. What a fucking spot. You suddenly make me feel like you're in British Caribbean and I don't know what will. I really am in the middle of nowhere. I'm wondering why I haven't seen anyone all day. Locals included. Like I think I've seen a few people standing on their front porch, tending their gardens or whatever. Where I came from, pretty much on the other side, somewhere over there, there was another dirt path that went like to where I'm going to. These two join up. But to be honest, it looked a lot like a car path. So I stuck to the foot trail. I think most people went with the foot trail. Sorry, with the... They went with the car tracks. Tell you what, after the first night when it was super windy, my tent practically, it did cave in, but I managed to fix it. And last night it just poured rain all night. I could even feel water pooling underneath where I'd set up my mat. Lucky it was only on the outside. But tonight, it hasn't stopped raining all day. I mean, it's not really raining right now, but it's wet. After all this rain, there's no way I can stay on the peak tonight. How cold it is up there and all my shit drenched. So I think I might get to where the nearest restaurant is. Maybe only like another 2 Ks. Maybe go do the peak and come back down, or just get a taxi into town and stay there for the night. There's no way for me to get from the peak to my next campsite without getting a taxi or doing like a 20-hour day, which is just not going to be possible. And a few people that I've spoken to have said they've all got a taxi, but no one has gone this way around, so at least not that I've heard of. I'm well cold right now. Sounded English as, didn't it? I'm walking about half an hour to a bar. And then I'm going to get a taxi to São Vincent. It's definitely not how you say it in Portuguese, but I'm going to get a taxi there, and I'm staying in accommodation for the night. I literally could not survive where I'm staying tonight, or where I was meant to be camping, on the tallest peak in Madeira. Plus my clothes are wet and it's raining. It's like minus. No, it wouldn't be. It probably would be close to minus up there. And I just don't think that, looking at the weather forecast, that it's even going to be visible. I think that the clouds there's going to be too many clouds. It's not going to have that kind of effect where you're actually sitting above them. Could be wrong, but even if I wanted to stay there, I'd probably get hypothermia or some shit. So, cutting my losses, going to get warm, going to get my clothes warm, and I need to air out my tent, and then hopefully forecast for where I'm heading for the next couple of days is a little bit different to this part of the island. Current situation. Enjoying a lovely hot chocolate. While I wait for the access code to this bedroom. All my shit is kind of airing out. But what a place. Alright. Guarantee you, if I stayed on the peak last night, that I would have been above the clouds. Looks like ideal conditions, to be honest. I mean, right now, the weather for the next few days after today is rain non-stop. And Tuesday around midday, it's going to be 60-kilometer winds. Sunday right now, so I've got 4 more nights of camping left if I wanted to do, and those 4 nights is all going to be wet and windy. Everyone I'm speaking to, from locals, restaurant owners and the likes, say that it's a terrible idea. And I mean, gotta somewhat kill the ego here a bit. Couldn't agree with them. I'm not sure what my plan's gonna be yet, but I'd love to still do some more hiking. I think it's just going to be a matter of potentially just finding some accommodation and trying to find some day hikes to do. We'll have to revisit this beast another day. I have a confession, if it's not already obvious. I'm an idiot. So I definitely didn't show this place the respect it deserved. Up until now, I haven't really explained this, but I was attempting to do this
through hike from east to west without being on my phone. I just set it up so I could use it as a camera, and I had no access to the internet, so I couldn't tell what the weather was. I couldn't tell where I was, how far I'm away from anywhere at any point. I had a paper map, which was really hard to navigate, and it also just fucking fell to pieces. It lasted like 2 days at best. I'll whip it out at some stage and give you a look, but after, not last night, the night before, when I woke up and I was in the tent, freezing cold and wet, I realized at that point that if I don't check what the forecast is for where I'm heading, I would be fucked if I run into any issues. And from that point onwards, I have been using all trails, which is still hard to navigate, believe it or not. A lot easier than a map though. And yeah, the next few days, the weather's really bad, and it's not going to be possible to do this through hike anymore, not without somewhat risking my life. So I've decided to change my plans. I'm going to stay in Encomida in the middle of the island, and I'm going to do some day hikes, hopefully get to some peaks. The weather's going to be shit, but at least if I get drenched and cold, I can go back to a nice hot shower. So yeah, tonight I'm camping still. I'm going to be going towards where I was meant to be staying tonight anyway, and it's awfully close to where the accommodation is that I'll be staying for the rest of my trip. If I do run into any issues tonight, at least I can go knocking on their door. I don't know, sleep in the lobby if they got no rooms or whatever. I'm sure they won't kick me out. It's part of the island. Genuinely feels like I'm in Avatar. Like what? What? Over there was pretty fucked up though. It looked like a ton of landslides. So seems like a pretty sketchy place, but it's fucking sick. I really need to get better at filming. But that house, wait for it. This might be the coolest place that I've ever stayed. This is what I imagine Hawaii would be like, but I think this place might be a bit cooler. Right in between that mountain and all of that. To a view like that is so sick. I'm walking back because I didn't get the shot of the mountain. Alright. Hello. Careful.
It turned to demons of greed, that's me. Where I go, I just don't know. I gotta take it slow. When I find my peace of mind, well, I'm gonna give you some of my good time. Today love smiled on me. It took away my pain, said please. Oh, let your ride you free. You gotta let it be, oh yeah. Where I go, I just don't know. Like gotta
Now I could be mistaken, but I thought gum trees were native to Australia. What the fuck are they doing here? Did they get brought here? Or are these not gum trees? Gum trees? You know, the eucalyptus trees. I risk of sounding like an idiot. I'm pretty sure they're eucalyptus trees, gum trees. But I'm gonna have to fact check that. Here we go. It's time to see if we got any better at filming. So that's obviously the town that I came from. You could probably see the white church just over on the right. And we were like pretty much all the way down in that valley. What a view. The weather is like actually mad today. If I wasn't wet last night, maybe I probably could have stayed on the peak. It would have been freezing overnight. I haven't really packed clothes for below 5 degrees. I was expecting like nights of maybe 10, but then again I was checking the forecast for like sea level temperature, so I probably fucked up a bit there. Anyway, campground is pumping. Kind of. We got a couple people having a picnic, playing some tunes. It doesn't look like anyone's going to be camping. And I found like this little patch right here. It's not really wet like the rest of the ground, so it should be dry. The temperature in Funchal, like sea level, is about 15. Overnight about 11, and the wind's roughly around 8 miles an hour. And the rain shouldn't settle in until tomorrow morning at like 7 a.m. So I might go head up to where I'm going to be staying for the next few nights, have some dinner up at the restaurant there, and then see how the weather goes up here. If it gets really cold, I might stay. If not, I'll come back and camp here. But it doesn't look like anyone's going to be camping here tonight, so it might just be me. A couple of noisy picnickers still around. There's only one group left, and I think a couple down there that rode their bike in. But looks like it'll just be me tonight. It's not as cold as it was up where I had lunch/dinner. But it looks sick. I didn't even think about it before as well. Like, It wasn't that long ago that I could see the ocean where I came from, just like 10 minutes up a trail there, and then another half an hour, and I could see the ocean on the other side of the island. It's pretty wild. Yeah, this is me for the night. I reckon I'll probably just have a read, and then when it gets dark, I'll probably have my 2-minute noodles and call it a night. First successful day. Oh yeah. The rowdy bunch just left before, and this this was still going, so I thought I'd try and make the most of it. Everything here is a bit wet, so I grabbed what I could, small stuff, and hopefully it'll catch a bit. Either way, still be a bit warm, so see how we go. Very wet. Maybe the oh fuck me. Maybe they're maybe they just don't use the pasta. Someone put popping candy in that thing? Hey. That was cooking. Not too bad after all. Oh yeah, it's done. Fuck me. If you had have told me that that I would have been here 3 days ago, I wouldn't have believed you. I was ready to pack up my shit and get the fuck out of here before the actual hike even begun. Basically that first night, I landed at 11 o'clock and 11 a.m. and I estimated it'd probably take me about 4 hours to get to campsite. Half an hour bus ride into town from the airport. About an hour and a half to get gas for the stove and food, and then an hour across to a bus back to kind of where the campsite is, and maybe another hour walk in to the campsite. So my maths is correct. That's about 4 hours. But it took about 5. I think I got to Canasau, which is before the hour walk, by 5 p.m. And then found out that to walk in, you had to walk along the highway, and that was really sketchy. To give you an idea of what the weather was like, it was kind of warm. It was sunny, but then raining, and we were in a holding pattern for an hour to land because it was too windy. The only thing I can assume is that most of the flights that hadn't left other countries to come to Madeira were cancelled. Any flights that were already in the air landed. It was the roughest landing I have ever experienced. It was terrifying. I felt like the plane was going to slam into the ground. And 72 flights were cancelled up until the whole next day. The flights were cancelled, and some in the evening on the day that I came in. So I had to wild camp. I couldn't make it to the first campsite, and it was fucked. Like really bad weather. I actually tried to turn my phone on, and I couldn't get any service where I was, so I couldn't even tell if there was anywhere that I could stay. Like, I genuinely didn't want to go wild camp, but it was getting dark and I didn't have a choice. There was pretty much nothing around where that town was. And the following day then ran into some closed trails that I thought I could go around, but to be honest, it just looked like a bit of a loophole. You were kind of just dodging a path that you weren't meant to go through, but the rest of the trail was still pretty bad apparently. I went there and I saw for myself the wildcat. I saw for myself, and decided to turn around. Got a taxi to where I was meant to be camping, and then got drenched. So this is fucking 5 stars compared to the last couple of nights. Granted, last night I was in an actual bed, so not including that one. Peace out.
The rain's really just settled in. It was kind of nice before, and I was having a look at what trails I could maybe do this afternoon, but my parents kind of bugging out, and it's to ride this through and go up to the Red Swans Hill.
This morning I had a few issues with my hard drive. The phone wasn't recognizing it, so I wasn't able to capture any footage leaving camp. Basically it was pouring rain, and as I think I left at about 9:30. I was coming here to the cafe. It opened at 10, and as I came over the peak to come down here, I saw 3 people hiking down, which I thought was pretty strange. I thought maybe they'd been camping as well. When I finally caught up to one of them, they said that they were going to do a trail that I was meant to be doing today. And when they got there, the trailhead was closed. There was a bunch of people there trying to fix flooding in one of the Nevada tunnels. And they were coming here to the cafe to reassess their day. They devised a plan to go back down to the coast where they came from because it was sunny, and do a waterfall hike, which they offered me to join. So I took the opportunity and it was actually a lovely day. Really, really good bunch of girls, ladies, women. As for the next few days, this weather is pretty awful. It's dangerous to be out in most places. And tomorrow's meant to be like the best day of the lot. I would like to be able to get to a peak. I'm just not sure if it's really going to be an option. I've tried to have a look in and see what other parts of the island have better weather, like what the women did today. But I'm not really having much luck. It feels a bit weird today. Like, I know that I shouldn't be going out and doing anything because the weather warning is really bad. I actually checked the official like Madeira hiking website, and they've closed all official trails for today. That's how severe the weather warning is. I mean, it genuinely seems okay at the moment, and this island is known to have like microclimates. So at the moment at the beach it's probably sunny on the south side, and on the north side it's probably pouring rain. But if they've closed all the trails, I think that's probably a good sign to just chill. However, it feels really difficult to actually just sit still, even though it's kind of what I wanted this trip to be about, is to just be still and not really have any distractions per se with the online world, and take the time just to relax. So this afternoon I think I'm just going to lock myself in and do a bit of journaling and continue reading my book. I did meet some French guys. I think they're French actually, I don't know if they're French. Two guys that were hiking there. This is their third day. I think they got here on Sunday. They camped up until last night and then retreated here, similar to me. And they went and they went on the peak yesterday, and it was snowing up there. They said, and it was freezing cold, really bad. Did just record myself setting up this tent just to give it a bit of an air out, but I think the audio might be fairly average. I had a mic clipped to my puffer and it was just the whole time. So here it is. It is very wet, very muddy. Same with this fella. I haven't even bothered to set up the base mat. It's gonna be really, really muddy. As you can tell by the pegs. Just let them dry out a bit. Scrape the dirt off. It's funny the preconceived thoughts that you have about a place that you're going to that you don't know much about. I had this idea that I would be walking along some farmland somewhere, and there'd be a bunch of banana trees, and the owner would be tend into his garden, and somehow I'd managed to convince him in like broken Portuguese that I would be able to get that I could have a banana like straight from the tree. And I haven't even seen any ripe bananas anywhere. From what I gather, they send them off not ripe. But I've walked past a few places now where they're literally hanging over the fence. As tempting as it is, I'm not going to steal someone's banana, even if it was ripe. Unfortunately for me, the last couple of days have been pretty average. The trails were closed yesterday and the day before that, and they reopened this morning. I decided that I would get out of the mountains, because yesterday I went to Funchal. It was raining in the mountains, sunny in Funchal, really nice day. It was just a city day, really. So I decided to kind of head towards the coast this morning. Decided to head towards the coast this morning. And I was only about 500 meters above sea level, half of where I was staying in the mountains. And it was pouring rain still. Got about 50 meters into the trailhead and I was stopped by some like forestry people, and they showed me some videos of the state of the trail, and it was really bad, like unpassable. So I walked down in the rain to Calita. As soon as you get to like the coast, it's sunny. Like within 100 meters of the beach, the rain stops. But there's not much else around here, so kind of just trying to walk to a few towns away and hopefully see some cool shit along the way. Last day. Not really how I expected this trip to go at all, but the universe has a weird way of showing you what you're actually after. A lot of my time has been spent over the last couple of days kind of grappling with not doing anything, which can be kind of daunting, to try and look inwards and not find some escape. Ironically, I thought that I'd be doing a lot of that on this trip, but the hiking takes up a lot of your mental capacity. Not enough time for inward thought. So in a roundabout way, I ended up getting that. Not sure how I feel about it still, but I've learned a lot. Being disconnected from friends and family for quite a long time, especially while living overseas as well, doesn't feel nice. It's not how I thought I would feel going into this, but I'm glad it's kind of come up to me. Just from hearing through other people the news going on in the world at the moment with the war that's started, I still don't even know too much about it. It just makes me think that, like, if something happened to any of my friends and family and I didn't know about it, be pretty devastated. So I think there's like a fine line that you have to walk between being dragged fully into the online world and throwing it all away to being by yourself all the time. This little journey as well was a bit of an experiment. I always knew that too much solitude would be a bad thing. And the more you protect your peace, the lonelier you get. Came into this trip trying not to expect anything out of it, so that when things go wrong, I didn't feel anxious about it. So the more you plan, the more anxious you get about future uncertainties. But I was not expecting absolutely everything to go wrong. Not everything really, but it's been wonderful. I'm glad there's actually some lessons to be learned. I probably wouldn't be having this conversation if it was like good weather the whole time. I definitely would have learned any lessons. And I would have thought that traveling without a GPS or checking the forecast would be a smart thing. So blessings in disguise. I don't think I will want to be disconnected. At least contact with friends and family for an extended period of time again. Not intentionally, at least. But can't wait to come back here and do this again.